I was on in the
That's right. You told me about that. Yeah.
I don't know, good or bad or
That's what everybody wants to know. What's Christina like? Or, you know, because I'm like, wow, it's James and Sandra Bullock. They start kissing and stuff. And I'm staring at them. Did you ever watch Flip or Flop at all?
yeah. That's all.
My first day was the day they found the squatter. What's it like getting recognized when you go out to eat?
No, it's like.
Hey, Mike, I got a question.
I got the answer. You guys, this is the first podcast of the Hey Mike. I got Pando.
Cheers.
Dude.
Right?
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
I guess so. I know. So, okay, we met when I got on the show with Christine on the Coast. Let's just start from the beginning. With you, how did you even get into the TV world?
My first job was this show called Ballroom Boot Camp. And it was 2005.
Who's producing this? But
It was this production company called Original Productions, and they produced Monster Garage with Jesse James. Do you remember that show? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that was their big claim to fame.
was his show?
And they also did Deadliest Catch.
Oh, I do. I still like that show.
Yeah. And they were a great company, a lot of fun to work for, and they also were just like adventurous. You know, like on Monster Garage, they did a lot of like, you know, helicopter shooting, and you know they'd blow things up, and it was a lot of fun. I worked on that show too. After Ballroom Boot Camp, I was an AC assistant camera on Monster Garage. So I met Jesse James and Sandra Bullock.
Really?
Yeah. They were one time. We had a camera, and it was set up across the street from the studio because their studio is actually in Long Beach.
Because she was dating.
They eventually got married, but they were dating at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And so
Such an odd couple, by the way.
oh my gosh, they really were. But she would show up and she'd be in the background all the time, and they really looked like they were in love. You know, they were newly dating, and
Yeah.
they were very affectionate, so to speak.
I mean, they're probably in their 30s at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so we had a camera set up for a time lapse on the sunset. And it was on a roof of the building next door. And I went up there to clear it. The sun had dropped, and I went up there to clear the camera off. And while I'm up there, Jesse, James, and Sandra come out of the building, and they're down there, and I'm kind of looking at them, and I'm holding this camera next to me, and I just get locked in kind of a stare, you know, because I'm like, wow, that's Jesse James and Sandra Bullock, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm holding this camera, looking at them. They start kissing and stuff, and I'm staring at them. And all of a sudden, Sandra notices me up on the building, you know? And they look up, and they think I'm a paparazzi.
Oh.
And so they're like, oh,